let us know when we're live. I'll let you fix that one. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lieutenant Christopher Ortiz, Unit Head of the Recruiting Unit, and we are here, Facebook Live Q&A for May 5th, the last day of online applications for the New Jersey State Police. If you've been thinking about applying, now is the time. Come midnight, our system is shutting down. We're no longer going to be accepting any online applications. So please go to njtrooper.com now. If you're interested and you meet all the qualifications, put that application in, schedule your PQT, your physical qualification test, and begin the process of becoming a New Jersey State Trooper. So today I have with me a member of the selection process unit. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Trooper 2, Michelle Stallworth. I'm with the Selection Process Unit, and we're here today to answer your questions that you have about the application or the application process. So hopefully we hear from you.
Absolutely. So some of the things we're going to cover today, we're going to start first off. I'm going to have Trooper Stallworth talk about the qualifications. What are we looking for? What do you need in order to apply and become a New Jersey State Trooper, or at least apply and start the process? We are looking for people that satisfy all those qualifications to schedule their physical qualification test, and then, of course, go to Academy Awareness Weekend en route to our academy and walking across that stage to become a trooper. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to Trooper Stallworth, and she can speak about the qualifications that we need in order for applicants to apply.
Thank you. So one of the qualifications that you can apply under is the bachelor's degree. Everyone's heard about it. You must have your bachelor's degree by June 30th of 2023. That is this year, okay? Another qualification that you may fall under is the 60 college credits. That is 60 college credits from an accredited college and 2 years of work experience. So that's going to be 104 weeks of work, and that can be from anywhere. That can be from anywhere from corporate, business, you can be a teacher, you could be in law enforcement, you can work part-time. However, each of those 104 weeks of work must have 20 hours in those weeks, okay? They can be broken up as well. So you can work 50 weeks, take some time to attend college, and work an additional 54 weeks, okay? So it's a cumulative up until June 30th of 2023. So it must be before that date. Another option is for our active duty members. It is 2 years of active duty service and 30 college credits with an accredited college. There is one final qualification that you can fall under. That's for individuals with 80 college credits by this year, June 30th of 2023, with the intentions of getting their bachelor's degree next year, June 30th of 2024. Once they complete that, then they will be placed into the background process. Okay? Those individuals will complete the PQT and the written, and then they will be deferred to the next process.
Great. Now, I know there's age restrictions.
There is.
All right, and we also have made a change in regards to previous processes as far as the minimum age that you are before you
Correct.
can apply. Can you go a little bit in depth into that?
Yes. So our maximum age, you cannot be 35 and graduate the academy. You have to be 34 and graduate the academy, okay? But the minimum age, you're able to apply at the age of 20, and correct me if I'm wrong, you must enter the academy at 21.
That's
okay?
correct, yes.
And our anticipated academy start date is next January of 2024. So yes, you can apply at the age of 20.
All right, which has opened this pool up to people that before weren't qualified. And for those, and we get this question a lot, that don't understand state police, when you're a trooper, there is an age requirement when you have to retire. So people aren't aware of that, but there is a mandatory retirement age in the New Jersey State Police of 55 years of age. So we need that person that applies to not exceed that 35 years of age in order to properly enter into our system and have that 20 years of service that you need in order to qualify for retirement.
Correct.
So one thing I also wanted to touch on, it is the last day of the process. Many people that were interested in the state police have gone onto njtrooper.com and have applied. But what I wanted to do was once again go over what is the process, because this putting in the application is only the first step.
Correct.
There are others that come after, such as when you put in that application, you're looking to put in your physical qualification test date as well. So when you're looking at the PQT, make sure that you're doing what you need to do now in order to succeed. So we do have minimum standards that have to be met when it comes to our physical qualification test. We have a sit-up, push-up, as well as 1.5 mile run that are currently the physical qualification test events. So where are you? It's very simple. You can go to njtrooper.com. You can look up what we're looking for as far as the standard. Test yourself now. Make sure that what you're doing is working for you so that when the time comes and you're standing in front of a trooper getting tested on your physical ability, that you're able to make sure you make that mandatory minimum. Do you want to talk anything about that, ma'am?
Yes. So we have, for this process, we're trying something a little differently. It's called PEP. It's called our pre-employment preparatory phase. Okay. We afford the opportunity for applicants to come, set a date. It's voluntary. You can come and you can actually perform your push-ups, your sit-ups, and your 1.5 mile run in front of the instructors who are going to be the same instructors counting those same things on PQT day. Okay? They are going to let you know if your push-ups are the right form, if your sit-ups are the right form, and you will be able to see and perform on the same track or environment for the run. Okay, you'll be able to see the track that you're running on. Okay, you show up. It's completely voluntary. We will show you the form. Okay, you will perform. If you're doing it wrong, we'll let you know, and you can better prepare for the physical qualification test.
And that's great. That's something that hasn't been commonly offered in many years past, but now you're getting the opportunity to take basically the pre-test for the physical qualification test. So you don't have to guess as to where you are in your standings. You have the opportunity to work with troopers and see that, yes, I'm here, I can make this happen, I can pass these standards. For those that are unaware, our PQT, our physical qualification test, does have points assigned to each and every event, and you do have to pass every event with a minimum standard score. So our point scale for each event is, of course, down to 0 if you do not pass, but maxing is 7 points. So max points for the push-ups, 7 points would be 47 push-ups or more qualifies you for that maximum 7-point score. Sit-ups, maximum 49 push-ups or more would get you that maximum 7-point score. And finally, the 1.5 mile run. What is the 1.5 mile run max? 11 minutes and 31 seconds or shorter, anytime that falls below that 11 minutes and 31 seconds. For the minimum, if you're not sure whether or not you can make that 1.5 miles and 11 minutes and 31 seconds, that's okay, as long as you don't go below 14 minutes and 27 seconds. 14 minutes and 27 seconds or longer is considered a failing score when it comes to our 1.5 mile run. Similarly, sit-ups. 20 sit-ups or fewer does not pass the minimum scores for sit-ups in order to pass that event. And finally, push-ups. 17 or fewer push-ups is a 0 score, is not enough to get that 1 point or more that you need in order to get points assigned to push-ups. So that is the next stage of the process, that PQT. And we're doing what we can to assist the public in having that PEP 1, where you get an idea of what that physical qualification test is before you even get there. Understand that if you advance in this process, we want our applicants to succeed. Yes. So even though we have PEP phase 1, it doesn't stop there. Provided that you pass our physical qualification test, our written test, are moving forward in our process, we offer other PEP sessions, pre-employment preparation phase sessions. Ma'am, can you talk a little bit about what we do prior to an applicant becoming a recruit to prepare them for the rigors of the academy?
Yes. Later on in the process, we have 2 PEP sessions that you are required to attend. One familiarizes you with the swim session, okay? You will be here at Division, and you get to jump in the pool and show us what you have in the water, okay? That is to let you know that our swim sessions at the academy are progressive, okay? We do want you to be comfortable in the water when you enter the academy. The instructors are not there to teach you how to swim, so you should know how to swim upon entering. So if you're unsure at this time and you've applied, we highly recommend you take some lessons, get into a pool, and familiarize yourself, get comfortable in the water. The other PEP session is held at Seegert, and that is to familiarize you with a physical training session, okay, a PT session at the academy. You may run that day, you may perform some push-ups or some of the other exercises performed in the academy, and see how rigorous our physical qualifications are.
And that's great. So we're doing what we can to make sure that everyone who goes through our process and then enters the academy is successful and is able at the end of the academy to become a trooper. So what are some other things that were involved in the process? Just so you're aware, once somebody passes our physical qualification test and they advance, then there is a written test. Provided one passes that as well, you continue forward. There is an actual background investigation associated with anyone that is involved in the application process with the state police. Provided you are selected for further background investigation and moving forward in the process, you get your own investigator that's assigned to you. If you're at that point, of course, we're going to need people working with us in order to look at your records and get you to that next point, which is the candidate review board process, wherein you meet with 3 people that are New Jersey State Troopers, as well as a representative from the Office of the Attorney General, asked a few questions, and hopefully if you advance past that oral board process, and we have our medical and psychological as well, we hit the final milestone in the application process, which is Academy Awareness Weekend. Ma'am, can you talk a little bit about Academy Awareness Weekend and what somebody that's a prospective applicant wanting to become a recruit and knowing this is the last step before entering into the academy, what would they expect to see during that
Absolutely.
weekend?
So you're going to report on that weekend, and the instructors at the academy and the personnel with the selection process unit will show you essentially a day in the life of a recruit, okay? You will be instructed on how to wear our uniform as a recruit, how to report and set up your bunks, where you will be eating. They will take you through a PT session similar to that of a PEP session, and you really get a feel for life in the academy to better prepare you for what you're entering into.
Okay, and we do have a question. What if somebody doesn't have prior training and in relation to a 20-year-old male? Once again, we do have that age that you have to be 21 once you enter into the academy, although you can apply if you will be 21 by that point. And training is not necessary as long as you meet our minimum qualifications.
Yes.
Do you have the bachelor's degree? Do you have possibly the 60 credits with associated work experience? So age isn't a factor if you are going to be 21, because we are talking about a 20-year-old, prior to entrance into the academy.
Correct.
So now that we've talked a little bit about what it's like to go through our application process, let's talk a little bit as well about academy life, right? So if you're not aware, this is a residential academy. It makes us a bit unique in this state. There are not many academies that are residential. So if someone does become a recruit for the New Jersey State Police, understand you will be residential living at the academy Monday through Friday. For those that are unaware, our academy currently is housed at the National Guard Training Center based out of Seegert. So you can tell your families you're there as a recruit.
Yes.
You're not coming home until Friday night, and you're leaving very early in order to be there on Monday morning.
Looks like we have another question. How long do the background portions take, and would it be quicker if you're already in law enforcement? The background portion is approximately, I would say, 2 to 3 months, depending on how quickly we can get some forms in and how quickly you can provide information to us as the applicant. Would it be quicker if you're already in law enforcement? Not necessarily. We look into the same things, personal background, we talk to family members, we talk to previous employers, we will talk to previous law enforcement supervisors. If you're in the military, we speak to military supervisors. And so if you have been in law enforcement, your background is not necessarily quicker, and it does not mean you will move through our process any faster. The selection process unit. You can email us at any time today if you have any questions, or if you have any questions about the process. It is selectionprocessunit@njsp.gov. Again, that is selectionprocessunit@njsp.gov.
All right, and I see we have another question about what if somebody only has a high school diploma or GED? Unfortunately, that does not satisfy our educational requirements. We do need someone to have, at a bare minimum, 30 credits, and that 30 credits is only if they have a military background. Is that correct?
Active duty, yes.
Active duty. That's an important distinction,
Yes.
because we may have people apply from the possibly the reserves or the National Guard.
Correct. As per that high school question, you definitely need that 60 college credits and the 2 years of work experience in order to qualify.
And how many weeks is the academy? The academy is 6 months. So at this time, we are looking at hopefully the class going in January of 2024. We don't have an exact date at this time, but understand that when the academy starts, it is a 6-month process from beginning to end.
Another question in regards to the written exam, asking about the passing scores. So we use an outside agency to score all of our written exam, and we only get a pass-fail. Okay, we don't get whether or not you received certain questions wrong or right. We just get a pass-fail score. So I can't really indulge in that question too much for you, unfortunately.
And then going over something I've talked about in the past, but for any new people to the Facebook Live Q&A, a little personal touch, which is myself talking about my background, what influenced me to get to this point where I joined the New Jersey State Police. So a little bit about me. I am a Rutgers University grad, and while in Rutgers, went through the Army RTC program and actually went active duty myself, and loved it. But when I came out, knew I wanted a career still with meaning, something that gave me pride in what I was doing. And so I looked at law enforcement, and coming back home to New Jersey, I knew that I didn't want to leave again. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I wanted to stay here. And the New Jersey State Police is one of the premier law enforcement agencies within this state. I applied, and thankfully, close to 19 years later, here I am. But everybody that wears this uniform has their own story, right? What influenced you to come to the decision to apply and make it through the academy? Trooper Stallworth, what was your influence?
My father is actually in law enforcement, and that is something that I've wanted to do. However, I entered college and I got my degree in teaching, and I taught for a few years before finding out that maybe it just wasn't for me. Had the opportunity to apply, and once again, got lucky enough to be here today, and we're talking 9, almost 10 years later, so.
And you know what, you bring something up, which is your background was in teaching. So
Yes.
when we field questions about education, people ask, do I need a degree in criminal justice? Do I need to have some type of credits assigned to that topic? And the answer is no. We are open to people from various backgrounds. It does not matter where you got, what you got your degree in. What only matters really is what we're looking for is the credits assigned to what you have. Do you have that bachelor's? Do you have the 60 credits min, or the 30 with the active duty background? So that's something to think about as well. We have over 120 different jobs, positions assigned within the state police. There is something for everybody. If you're strong administratively, there could be something for you there. If you have an interest in canine and in going to teams, which is our tactical unit, there is opportunity there. Although, all that being said, understand the thing that forms the brotherhood and sisterhood of the New Jersey State Police is the fact that we all come from the same place. If you graduate from the academy and become a trooper, understand you will be assigned to a road station. You will start out in our field operations section. It is the backbone of the New Jersey State Police. It's the heart and soul, and we have a lot of pride in the fact that when you come out of our academy, you're equipped to either go to that traffic station or go to that general policing station. General policing meaning you are possibly the local police agency in that area for certain emergencies. You are responding, and going into any other position after, know that you're starting out in that troop car, patrolling and working with the public.
We have a few questions. The tentative start date for the 166 class is January of 2024. In regards to specific questions with specific individuals that may have been medically removed from a class, you can email the selection process unit at njsp.gov, and we will have those answers for you.
And there is a question, like, if somebody's injured in our academy,
Yes.
right? I'm in the academy, I'm doing everything I can, but these things do happen. So if somebody becomes injured while going through the rigors of training, what's typically the process for them if they want to come back? Can they come back?
They can if they're medically, if it's a medical removal from the academy, okay? If it's a medical reason that they left the academy. They will be pushed back, if they're still interested, to the following process, pending, obviously, their medical clearance from a doctor, okay? That is why we want to make sure that you are physically, mentally prepared. That's why we have a medical and psychological phase. So if that is a reason you left an academy, we want to make sure that you're prepared for the following academy.
Yep. We had a question about transfers from different departments. And we appreciate anybody that has prior law enforcement background, has been with either a county, municipal agency, maybe federal. At this time, we do not take transfers, though. We are a unique organization in that if you would like to become a New Jersey State Trooper, then you will have to go through the New Jersey State Police Academy. Although that is not always the case from other agencies, that is our policy at this time, that somebody would have to apply and go through the same application process as anyone else, even if they are currently in law enforcement in some capacity.
We have a question here in regards to being deferred from the 165th class to the 166th class. If you were formally deferred to the 166 process, you do not need to reapply, and you will not be required to retake the written or the physical qualification test.
All right. And I wanted to touch on what to expect in this application process, because if you do apply and you make it to a background investigation phase where somebody's asking a lot of questions, a background investigator, about where you come from, what have you done, just be aware that your friends, your family, anybody that you put down, they will be contacted, and they'll be questioned a bit as far as what you put down on your investigation questionnaire. So it may be a good idea, if you're getting to that point, to kind of prep everybody in your life. It is an intense background investigation. We do pride ourselves on having a rigorous both application and academy process. So just understand ahead of time that it may take some time, but we will ask a lot of questions to make sure we're getting the best possible candidates to become recruits in our academy.
Yes.
So how does unit placement work? Well, that's a little down the line. We're still looking for people to apply and actually get the job and make it through our academy. But once someone becomes a trooper, and they have their time, their minimum time patrolling and being assigned to field operations section, we have specialist selections, meaning that when there are vacancies, when there are personnel needed to be in whatever unit is out there, it's all posted on our intranet page where anybody in the entire state police can look and see like, hey, is this a job that I'm interested in? Is this something that I want to do? If so, then they're more than welcome to put in their resume, put in their statement of qualifications, and go through the selection process where if they make it, if they have those qualifications that are being looked at, then they go through an interview process and hopefully make it into that specific unit.
There are no weight restrictions to enter the academy, either under or overweight. So there's no height requirement. I know in the past there was a height requirement. We no longer have that. So.
Yeah, so I know that was the question here. Are there any weight restrictions? There are not at this time. What we ask, of course, is that you are able to pass all the minimum standards when it comes to our qualification process in the PQT and anything else that's associated prior to entrance into the academy. And of course, once in the academy, it's understood that you will undergo another physical qualification test and, of course, testing on an academic standpoint as you progress from week 1 all the way to the end.
Question regarding different colleges, okay? Cumulatively, you will either need 60 college credits or 30 college credits, okay? They can be taken from multiple colleges, so when it comes to your background phase, we will ask that you provide us with official college transcripts, and we will look at those different transcripts if you have multiple colleges and make sure that they equal 60 or 30, depending on what qualification you applied under. Unfortunately, there is not any flexibility with the age requirement if the person is already a state employee or in the pension system or has relevant experience. We are sticking with that minimum of 20 years old when you apply, 21 when you enter, and graduating before the age of 35.
However, if you are within that window age-wise, understand that provided you make it through the academy and become a trooper, you have the opportunity for your career to have some prior service credit assigned if relevant to your state experience and employment.
Tentatively, the background phase should begin around August, okay? Those individuals who make it to the background phase will receive a background investigation questionnaire that you will fill out thoroughly and completely with as much information as possible. And then as an applicant in the background phase, the more responsive you are with your investigator, the quickly you will move through the background phase. So if we take a little bit longer to maybe provide documentation or get phone numbers for people, bosses, supervisors, that actually slows down the background phase. So if you do make it to the background phase, we ask that you have those things ready to go for your investigator.
All right, and we did have a question in reference to our dispatchers, ODU, Operational Dispatch Unit, where we have our PSD, Public Safety Telecommunicators. Do I need to know how to swim for the dispatch? No, you do not need. That is a position where you are assigned at your terminal and may have to give instructions over phone lines, but there is no swim requirement in order for somebody to apply and be a part of our dispatch team.
Let's see. Does it count towards your position? Okay, so this one says, I also became, what is that, fire guard in New York City?
Maybe
Medical
fire.
field as well. Does it count towards a position? Your experience might count, like once you've done your time on the road, should you become a New Jersey State Trooper, it might help you in certain units, and your expertise might help with certain units. Does it give you a leg up? I don't know. I guess it depends.
There may be some prior service credit if somebody's been outside the state and has done some law enforcement work such as NYPD. I'm not entirely sure whether or not anybody that worked in the fire department, that same thing applies. But if you call the selection process unit or email, they can
email us tonight, yes.
They can research and find that answer. And we are starting to get to the end of our time here. Once again, if anybody has any last-minute questions, please put them up on the board. Midnight, our system is going dark. Today is the last day for applications.
We will be monitoring the selection process email all night. If you have any questions, if you're unsure, please apply. And send us an email, selectionprocessunit@njsp.gov, and we will promptly get back to you if you have any issues.
Once again, njtrooper.com as well for any questions as it pertains to what qualifications are, what disqualifiers are, and of course, to fill out the application, because that's where you're going to find it, njtrooper.com.
Perfect.
All right. So this is us ending the session. But once again, we encourage you, go to njtrooper.com and apply today. Once again, midnight, it ends. So we're looking forward to as many applicants as possible in order to populate these next few classes, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you in the future.
Thank you.